Today, let's take a look at this horizontal Youth Edition analog pocket handheld. It is actually the GKD350H Ultra made by Laozhang. At the same time, everyone also calls it the Little King Kong. Why is it called the Little King Kong? Its entire body is made of aluminum alloy, including the buttons, and it has a HiFi grade chip. Let's open it up and take a look. Its configuration is an RK3576S with a 2+8GB memory combination. Let's set the handheld aside for now and look at the accessories. This is the user manual and warranty card. And this is the data cable, an A to C charging and data cable. Since this is a prototype, the demo might differ from the final retail version. We can see the body is solid black, but there is another color option. I'm not sure if it will be available at launch. Let's take a look at these buttons, including the joystick, A, B, X, Y, select, start, and shoulder buttons. The entire body is metal, with glass on the front and a piece of glass on the back as well. This area here is also metal. Let's check the feel of the buttons. The D-pad and the A, B, X, Y buttons all use conductive rubber. The select, start, and shoulder buttons here should all be micro switches. Let's look at the top. This is the home button, menu button, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. It is HiFi grade, so we will use it to listen to music in a bit and check the headphone amplifier effect. Then over here is the Type-C port, which supports 18-watt fast charging. It has a 5000 mAh battery and also supports video output. Here's the micro HDMI port. Of course, you can also plug in a Type-C headset or a dongle for audio output. On the left, there's a lanyard hole. As you can see, the speakers are at the bottom, featuring some patterned designs. Here is the TF card slot for expand shot. You can see the chamfered edges on the corners of the body. The build quality is really top-notch. On the right side are the power button and volume controls, which are also made of metal. Let's take a look at the back. It features a glass panel. There is some information on the top, and it is quite prone to fingerprints. There is a protective film on it, so let's peel that off. Currently, there are no third-party screen protectors for the back. For the front, only soft films are available, though tempered glass should be released later. The device comes with pre-applied films on both the front and back. You cannot see a single exposed screw, giving it a very solid integrated build. Only these two spots have rubber pads covering the screw holes.
What do you think of the overall build quality?
It runs on a Linux system. Well, it's an engineering build, and there will be an iOS system later on. That iOS system will be highly customized. You can see a power indicator light on the bottom left. It turns orange or red while charging and green when fully charged. This chip can also play some PlayStation 2 games and a small portion of 3DS games. Actually, the main highlight is this screen. When viewing this screen, I suggest setting it to 4K resolution, and the video I uploaded is also in 4K. The resolution of this screen is the same as the Analog Pocket, the well-known handheld that costs over 2000 Yen, which is 1600 by 1440. On this 3.5-inch screen, the level of detail is very impressive, with a 10:9 aspect ratio. So what games are best suited for it? Naturally, Game Boy or Game Boy Color games are a perfect fit. You can simply hold select and press left or right to adjust the screen brightness. These shortcuts are very convenient. Set it to 4K resolution and take a look at the screen's performance. Besides this handheld using the same screen as the Analog Pocket, there is another one called the Vert, which is that Aya Neo handheld. It is currently the most affordable handheld that uses the Analog Pocket screen. Right, I haven't mentioned the price yet. It should be 749 yuan. Playing Game Boy and Game Boy Color is 10 times better. That's why we call it the budget-friendly horizontal analog pocket handheld. Except for not being hardware emulated, it has the same Game Boy Color resolution.
10 times point to point.
This screen effect. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention the layout of the shoulder buttons. We can see they are lined up, and the L2 and R2 buttons are slightly raised. The two shoulder buttons are actually quite large. They can also be triggered at the corners. Let's also take a look at the 3:2 aspect ratio for GBA games. Look at the pixel effect on this screen. It is definitely pixel perfect. For PP, this chip supports 2 times PIP. Let's play God of War and see how it runs. The frame rate is in the top right. I don't recommend playing 16:9 games as the screen resolution is 10:9, leaving quite wide black bars.
Come on, let's play.
Is very smooth. We can see the frame rate is consistently stable at 60 frames. Speaking of the joysticks, they are TMR joysticks. PlayStation 2 games that are more demanding won't run, but some 2D titles are still playable. Let's take a look at Contra on PlayStation 2. Playing these is still very smooth. These are the two D-type, this PlayStation 2 game. You can also play Nintendo dual screen games. Our left joystick is mapped to touch and the right joystick can be pressed down. When playing Nintendo dual screen games, the screen is quite small because the Nintendo dual screen has 2 screens. And of course, you can also switch to single screen mode. It also supports many ported games. As you can see, there are so many like Balatro, Slate the Spire, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Grand Theft Auto, Stardew Valley, and many, many more. Actually, this square screen is quite well suited for games that fill the display, like Stardew Valley. Actually, there is no need to worry about the screen being too small to see clearly because the resolution is quite high, so the text remains sharp even on a small screen. As for the handheld itself, since it has a metal body and no active cooling, the device does get a bit warm when running more demanding games. After all, it is metal, so it conducts heat quite quickly. As for the thickness, it is a bit on the thicker side, but it packs a large 5000 mAh battery, which is actually quite good. Next, let us test its playback, music playback. After all, it has a built-in HiFi grade music chip. Let us first listen to the sound quality of the 2 built-in speakers. It can play lossless music, and besides these formats, it supports many others, including those high fidelity files that are quite large. Now, let's plug it into the speakers to hear how it sounds.
It really is. The sound quality is quite impressive. It must have a built-in high-fidelity chip.
Now let's look at the size of the device. The width is about the same as a Game Boy Advance, so it's quite compact. It's even shorter than a PlayStation Portable, so it should fit in your pocket with no problem. It's basically the same size as a phone. Look at this all-metal body. It weighs 286 grams, so it has a nice heft to it. This device can definitely be called a little powerhouse. The buttons, the button bases, and the joystick caps are all made of metal. The combination of metal and glass feels very premium. This screen, with 10 times the resolution of a Game Boy Color at 1600 by 1440 pixels, is truly impressive. Alright, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to support us. Wishing you all a happy day. This is 1GC.